I see. My name is Craig Dyer. I am 44 years old. I had my stroke two and a half years ago. I struggle with my speech and reading and spelling and a lot of things. I have the coming year for 1 year to speech. I want to work again and then again and then again and again, but I want to get better. Yep.
My name is Shelly Adair. I'm a speech pathologist, and I am one of the co-founders of this organization. We started it in 2008, and it's a nonprofit. And really, I worked in the hospitals for about 15 years before, mainly with stroke survivors and some head injury patients, but we were seeing people that were having strokes at younger and younger ages. We would work with these patients, and then we would have to discharge them because the insurance would say you're out of time, you're out of money, you're not making progress fast enough. And it just was really disheartening to send these people home that had so much potential. I mean, so we decided, Shilpa Shamapant is the president and the other co-founder, and we decided that we needed to start something different. So she went and talked to some of the neurologists that we worked with at St. David's and said, we have this idea, what do you think about it? And they were like, I think it's a great idea. Go start it. And so we found St. David's donated space for us for the first year, and we created boot camps. The other thing is, when you have a stroke, insurance lets you do about 2 to 3 hours of speech therapy a week. So that's just not enough time. So when we started, they were 3 days a week, and they would come for 3 hours a day. And we basically called up 4 people that we had worked with in the hospital and had gone home, and we thought still had a lot of potential, and we said, hey, would you be willing to try this? And they all agreed, and so that's kind of how it started.
Craig suffered his stroke when his heart gave out due to a blood clot from drug abuse. Craig awoke several hours after his stroke with the entire right side of his body paralyzed. His sister called an ambulance once she saw that he was unable to talk or move. He spent 8 months in a hospital bed, unable to make out what his television said, and was eventually sent home with no therapy for his stroke. Craig lived with a friend for a short time, but a suicide attempt later landed him in a state hospital for a year where he was still unable to talk. Craig now lives on his own and travels 2.5 hours by bus to Austin Speech Labs 5 times a week to get therapy.
I feel really lucky because I know that I get to come to work every day and like give people something that's so wanted and so needed. And you know, my husband goes to work and he likes what he does and he feels really challenged, but it's not life-giving. And so for me, I'm like tearing up. But like I'm also a mom, and being a mom was really important to me, and it was something I've worked really hard at. I had trouble becoming a mom, so I've had this struggle of like, do I do this? But I also have this opportunity to like work with people that need to learn how to speak again, and it's so fulfilling that I've been able to thankfully merge both of those two pursuits. But I mean, there's nothing like working with somebody that is able to communicate. When a week ago they couldn't say 5 words and now they can say 10 words, and there's just nothing like the power of communication. And so I feel really lucky just to be able to create a space where people can come and feel comfortable and encouraged and continue to work. Because if it were me, I mean, 7 years of like repeating "pa" and "ba" over and over and over, I mean, it's terrible. I don't know how people get out of bed. And so I feel really fulfilled being able to give somebody back their voice.